5 is a series of videos about veganism. 5 questions in 5 minutes across 5 videos. Today's topic is how we may unknowingly support animal cruelty when we don't think about where our food and other products come from. So let's talk about what's probably the main reason people become vegans, and that's that they don't want to support animal cruelty in their food and other things. Why is it cruel?
From the beginning of one of these individuals' lives, as in any animal, we would just say that, for instance, a chicken, or any farmed animal. Some of them are good upbringing. Most of them definitely won't.
Yeah.
And essentially, they all end up in the same place. They all end up in the same slaughterhouse with the same method of killing, and it's totally inhumane. There's no such thing as humane killing, and yeah, whether that be for food, whether that be for their skin, or whether that be if they've been grown up in a lab for something.
The vast majority of animals across the planet are factory farmed. Remind us what it is and why is that a cruel system?
Factory farming is a form of intensive farming, which the majority of intensive farming has got huge warehouses, and they hold up thousands upon thousands of animals as they grow from babies into food ready animals. And they don't have much space. A lot of them they struggle with growth. They die before they even make it to that age where they're age for slaughter, because they can't deal with the drugs in their food, or because they're growing too quickly, or because they can't walk, or because they bleed out. There's so many different reasons.
And all the disease and packed together so tightly. Let's take dairy farming for example. Take us through the life of a cow.
Let's start with a baby cow. So obviously he or she is born. If it's a he, most of the male calves will be raised for a little bit and then slaughtered, but they'll be taken away from their mother first, because obviously that milk is for humans. They're either grown for a little while and used for veal, or they're shot within the first few days of their lives. If it's a female calf, they'll basically go the same way their mother did, which was they'll be raised for up to about a year. But at first they're taken away from the mother, same as the male calves. And that's the bond that a cow with her young is very strong. Like you can see it, it's been proven time and time again. They cry out for them. It's horrendous. I've seen it. It's not nice. I mean, as I say, so she's grown up until she can start lactating, or until she can obviously have babies. The vast majority of those are artificially inseminated, and she becomes pregnant, and then obviously because she's pregnant, and then because she has a kid, she produces milk, and the cycle starts again. And usually in a cow's life, she can be pregnant 4 or 5 times before she starts to become very weak. Her milk is decreasing, and she can't continue, so she's sent off to slaughter.
So she becomes meat.
So she's used for dairy, and then she's killed at the end of it anyway. And
I think that's one of the arguments against vegetarianism, really, is that even though they're not eating meat, supporting the dairy industry and the egg industry, those animals are still getting killed anyway.
That was why I went vegan ultimately.
What about eggs?
Eggs, same thing. If she's used for eggs, then she's producing around 300 eggs a year. In natural environment, she's producing around 10 or 15 a year. So she's not going to last very long. She's overproducing ridiculous amounts of eggs, and she won't last. So what happens to her? She either dies, or she is sent off to slaughter when she starts producing too little amount of eggs. The actual chicks that are born, male chicks, within a day are straight into a macerator. And especially in the UK, like the amount of deaths that we have for male chicks is ridiculous, like 1 million chicks a year. And then obviously the female chicks are debeaked and raised for
eggs again. Right, but it's not just about food though either, is it? So tell us about some of the other industries where animals are also confined and abused or killed.
Oh, so many. I mean, the first thing I thought of that we haven't actually said in the video so far is zoos. People think that zoos are
educational.
Good point. Educational, good for the animal, individual animal. I mean, and they're all enclosed in very small areas. I mean, that also includes like marine life as well, with dolphins and things like that. They're not in their natural environment. They're not able to act normally. They're not able to hunt their own meat or you know, get their own food from trees, things like that. They're fed. Or
socialise or anything like
exactly.
that.
They're not able to, like elephants for instance, they move like a lot. They don't just stay in one place. But
in the wild.
That's one example. And then obviously you've got like leather and fur and wool. Wool is another one that's I mean, they're all really bad obviously, but wool is one that's overlooked quite often. And then laboratories. You know, for your moisturiser. Like animal testing for across the board. There's so many different companies that still use testing, and 95% of those don't even work on animals anyway. So a lot of animals are killed in that process, rather.
Remember, veganism isn't just a craze or a trend. It's about not buying into things that hurt other living beings, the planet, or you. Write your questions and comments below the video. Check out the other videos in the series, and thank you for watching. Bye.